realm of Canada, I do not recognize any of them.
What does that mean?
So when I have issued that royal decree, and as I said, as soon as I cross into the United States, you will see manifestation of all my royal decrees in Canada happen. It's very, very fast.
So do they put? So I have a friend who the social services took her 5 children away. When and she's in court. When is that? When you cross over to the states, is that going to be ineffective?
It should be ineffective now, and if I have to bring the military in and the special forces to enforce, then I will.
What is going on? I'm gonna try to tell you, but first off, let you know who that is. That is the QAnon Queen of Canada. Her name is Romana Didulo, and she was talking to a few gaggle of her supporters there that eat up everything that she's saying. So while all of us are rolling her eyes, they are all about it. They're fascinated, as a matter of fact. As she's talking to them, talking about how her decrees usurp actual American laws or even Canadian laws. Everything that she disagrees with, including this woman and her 5 children that were taken by social services, it's ineffective because she crossed into the United States. That makes a lot of sense. Something else that makes absolutely no sense is what she pulled out of her hat to this same group of people who were fascinated by this gift that she was given by a very important person. Watch this.
We have a special presentation here of this gentleman. Malchus is presenting a gift from President Putin of Russia.
Whoa.
And this watch has been signed by President Putin. Thank you, President Putin of Russia. As I said before, Russia is a friend, not an enemy.
Yes.
I've got this watch here from President Putin, and therefore President Putin is not an enemy, he's a friend. Whoa, amazing. They congratulated her for having it. I've got this pen, it's from Kim Jong-un. I've got this lip balm. It's from, I don't know, it doesn't matter. It's lip balm, but it means that President Putin is our friend. They're eating this up and it's amazing. The reasons why I'll give you guys those videos, because that's not the only thing she's doing. When it comes to then telling them how powerful she is and how she can end these laws and everything is ineffective, she also tells them what they should do with their lives, and they're listening. Here's a few things that she's up to now as far as her decrees go. So followers of a QAnon influencer who's convinced some Canadians that she's the true queen of Canada are saying that their utilities are being cut off because they were told by their sovereign that they no longer had to pay bills. Many others have posted that they too have stopped paying their bills after hearing that Romana Didulo, a QAnon influencer who has them convinced that she's running Canada behind the scenes, made a decree that electricity is free. Several have posted that power has been shut off or that they were on the verge of having it shut off and relented to finally paying. Those are the ones that weren't being very loyal. Continuing on, one woman repeatedly told her fellow QAnon Queen followers that she's, quote, stopped paying hydro, water, natural gas, property taxes, line of credit, and my credit cards. She pushes hard on her fellow true believers to join her in not paying their bills and chastising those who continue to pay. Here's a couple of letters real quick, Farron. Letters from some of these followers that are like, this is becoming a problem, Queen. Dear Queen Romana, when will the service company stop shutting off our services for non-payment? Is one person asked her. I just had my water supply shut off today in Stratford, Ontario. Didulo has issued several other royal decrees on her Telegram page, some regarding utility bills. The critical ones are Decree 24, which claims that electricity is now free in Canada, Decree 15, which abolishes the income tax, and Decree 23, which makes water bills illegal. Another decree, which is number 79, reverts the price of rent, housing, and propane back to 1955 levels. Here's more letters. Dear Queen Romana, I received a 24-hour notice for the power bill. Should I make a payment or will it be shut off? Queen Romana, please, what do I say to the city of Red Deer trying to shut off my water on Monday? Is what another one read. Is some help coming soon? Is one of her followers asked in early May. The warning to stock up and telling us not to pay utilities, etc., is really difficult. I'm scared and I'm gonna get cut off. And I won't have money to reconnect. So Farron, as you're seeing all this go down, as you're seeing her tell everyone her decrees 79, 23, 28, and 47, have you cut off? I mean, have you stopped paying your bills yet?
If Queen Romana has in fact ordered this, then yes, I shall follow Queen Romana's orders. Look, I have absolutely no problem if Q people stop paying their bills. I'm not gonna say I necessarily endorse it, but I'm also not gonna tell them to not listen to this. And I also have to wonder, and I mean this very sincerely, is the whole general public getting dumber? Or is it because of social media that we now get to see how just lunatic a lot of people have become, in the United States and clearly in Canada as well? Because it is very concerning. And I do think that is something that we need to address. Have we just become so much dumber as time has gone on now, or are we just seeing more of it? And I wish I had an answer for that, because this is dangerous, right? These individuals do believe clearly that this woman is somehow the Queen of Canada, and they're doing whatever she tells them to do. That is a tremendous amount of power that she has over these people. Who knows what else she could tell them to do? How far are they willing to go? With whatever order she gives them. That's the real terrifying part of this, is they've gone this far. How much further are they willing to go after this?
It's a good primer to find out exactly what your followers may do if you take them to such extents that maybe they wouldn't normally go for anyone else. Like, I'm literally gonna change my which bills I pay, all the way down to credit card bills, mortgage, rent, all these things that they think is gonna happen. They're gonna end up out on the streets, obviously have none of their utilities. But how do they get these things enforced is the other part about this, because obviously she's the queen. She has to show some kind of proof, right? Or maybe not. Here's some of the ways that they're pushing back against these utility companies. So recently the group panicked when a popular user had their power disconnected. The user a person who posted regularly had recently gone quiet, probably because their internet got shut off. The group rallied around her. They said, Joanna's power and water supply have been cut off, is what a follower wrote on April 20th. Can we get a bunch of we the people to call and email her power company to inform them of the new laws, decrees, and let them know they are committing criminal offenses against we the people? I guess that will work. One more part about this: the group got together the emails of the heads of BC Hydro, who cut off women's power, and sent them a deluge of emails about her decrees and demanding that they turn their friend's power back on. This tactic of sending emails about Didulo's power to utility companies seems to be the group's primary way of fighting back. And my thought about what you said there, Farron, about are people getting dumber? Because as I was going through this, I was like, this is the thing. I feel like these people have always existed. There's always been cults. There've always been people that collect and believe one person is like this Jesus figure. It's just a little bit easier now because we got the connectivity of the internet. We got social media. We got all of these platforms, and even they can scurry over to Telegram, where she is. I believe that's the platform that they're on, to tell them these things. They always existed. They just didn't always have a way to collect and organize. She's taking advantage of that and now screwing people over. What are your last thoughts here?
I also have to wonder, does she truly believe the thing that she's doing? Does she think she is actually the queen? Or is this all just part of a big old grift? What does she get out of it? Other than, some fancy watches, allegedly from her good friend Putin. But it again is super troubling, because we are seeing so many people fall into this Q trap, believing the most ridiculous things that you look at and you say, there's no way a person could actually think these things are true. But everything you're reading there, all those letters, these people genuinely think this, and even as they're facing consequences for it, they still aren't relenting in their belief. And again, super scary that even as they face consequences because she lied to them, they still won't falter in their beliefs.
Shouldn't these Christians be upset about this? False God, false prophet, all these people that keep coming in and becoming the new Jesus. But I think the lines are blurred between those two groups. And I think she's focusing on those types of believers that will believe anything and then jump onto that.